I fermented 4 pepper mashes for 3 months. Same process, same recipe. The only thing I changed,
Wow.
the pepper. So, how much does that actually affect the final sauce? Well, we're about to find out. So, all of these mashes were started on October 23rd. So I fermented them for about 3 months, and then I put them in cold storage until now. I used a simple base recipe, including red onion, beetroot, and a little bit of fresh garlic. And of course, for each mash, I added 2.5% salt per weight of the total mash. And that's it. Simple recipe. The only difference between each mash is the pepper that I used. Okay, so now I'm turning each mash into sauce. I'm going to use the same ratios across the board of white vinegar and apple cider vinegar to finish everything off. Everything stays exactly the same. So whatever difference we get is coming from the pepper itself and not the recipe. One thing that fermentation does is it starts to break everything down. The peppers, the sugars, the aromatics, and over time, all of that starts to come together into something more complex. You're not just getting the raw flavor of the pepper anymore. You're getting something deeper, something more developed. And that's what makes this process interesting, because even after all of that time fermenting, we're about to see how much that original pepper still comes through.
All right, so now it's the fun part, right? The part that actually matters. We have the same ferment, the same recipe. The only difference that we have here are the types of peppers that we've used. And so we're gonna go and taste each one by one, and I will give you my impressions on what they taste like, what the flavor is. Now, one of the challenges is I do have a higher tolerance for heat. However, these are really hot, and so it's going to be interesting trying to give you a flavor profile when my face is on fire. So let's enjoy each one of these sauces and give them a taste. So we're going to start out with the 7 Pot Primo. All right, so the 7 Pot Primo is about 1.2 to 1.5 million Scoville. It has a fruity, slightly sweet flavor, but very aggressive heat. It's known for its intense and lingering burn. So this ought to be fun. So let's give it a shot. Very thick sauce. All right, so there it is, the 7 Pot Primo. All right. All right, so take a look at the sauce. All of these sauces, they don't look terribly different with the exception of one, because of the type of peppers they are. We're gonna give it a try and hopefully survive. All right, here we go. Oh, wow. That is an immediate burn. However, as hot as it is, you can still taste kind of a fruity taste to it, kind of a citrusy taste. Really good flavor. You can definitely taste the taste of the pepper coming through the sauce. Very distinct flavor. Beautiful sauce, beautiful thick sauce. Wow. Really interesting. I'm interested to see how this compares heat-wise along with just flavor-wise for the other peppers. But overall, a really, really good sauce. Very intense heat. I'm starting to sweat a little bit. So, all right, so let's put this one back and we'll move on to the next pepper, which is the Primotalii. The Primotalii is around 1.5 million Scoville. It's got a really sharp, bright, intense heat, again, because it's a super hot pepper. extremely hot, fast hitting. And so let's give the Primotalii a try. And actually a subtle color difference, and it's not quite as thick as the 7 Pot Primo. Really beautiful sauce. Again, a lot more vibrant smelling, and so let's give it a shot. Oh wow, that's very different. Wow, it's a lot sharper. I'm almost a little bit more citrusy. Wow, very hot. Again, it's considered a super hot because it's 1.5 million Scoville. But overall, just a really smooth and delicious sauce. I mean, you can definitely tell that there's a difference between the two sauces. It's a really good sauce. So that is the Red Primotalii. Next up, one of my favorite peppers. I've been growing it for a few years now, and that is the chocolate Scotch Bonnet. Is a lot milder pepper. It's not as hot. It's not considered a super hot. It ranges between 200 and 500,000 Scoville. It's got an earthy flavor, slightly sweet, a lot milder. It's probably got a smoother heat and less of a sharp bite. So again, a thick sauce, not quite as thick as the 7 Pot Primo. You notice right away it's a lot darker. That's just because of the makeup of the pepper. So let's give it a taste. I don't think this will burn me quite as much, but let's try it. Definitely not as hot. This is a really smoky, very flavorful sauce, almost barbecue-like. Again, you're getting a little bit of fruit, a little bit of smoke, a little bit of garlicky flavor to it, very earthy, like they say they are. Very, very good flavor. I'm fairly impressed with that. I wasn't expecting that at all. Very good. For our final pepper, we have the 7 Pot Douglah. Is about 1.8 million Scoville. It has a deep, rich, almost kind of a nutty flavor to it. Very heavy heat. And so we are going to give it a shot. And hopefully I'm going to survive after all of this. Okay. Not much difference color-wise. Again, all of these are in the red family. So right away you can smell it. Very aromatic, I guess you would say. It's similar to the 7 Pot Primo, but there is a distinct distinction about it, and I guess we'll find out a little bit more once we taste it. All right, here we go. Okay. Again, that's incredibly hot. Right away, the heat starts to build. But it does have kind of a nutty, kind of a rich and deep flavor. Very complicated flavor profile. And that has a lot to do with the fermentation process. Really good flavor. It's very, very similar to the 7 Pot Primo. However, there is a very distinct difference between the two. If I had to taste them all over and do a blind taste test, I believe I could tell you which one is which. That's how distinct the flavors are. So very good. The 7 Pot Douglah.
At the end of the day, the process matters. The fermentation adds depth, your recipe adds dimension. but the pepper defines the sauce. And once you understand that, there's no limit to what you can create. If you want to try some of the sauces that we're creating, go ahead and check out the link in the description. We appreciate you watching, and we hope to see you next time.